When Stacy's mom was in college, she went to France and fell in love with a chef. She loved him so much she wanted to marry him and spend the rest of her life there. Stacy is scandalized to hear this story, even though she did the same basic thing with her French boyfriend in Super Special 3.
Argo Font Book Review, Argo Font Book Review.
This book was written by Ellen Miles. The Johanssens will be in France for 2 weeks. They ask Stacy to house sit for them. All she has to do is get the mail, the newspaper, and walk Carrot the dog twice a day. In Chapter 2, Stacy alternates between recapping all the characters and having a conversation about a sleigh ride. I liked how they tried to do something different with the recap chapter, but it is really hard to keep track of the conversation when it is sandwiched between pages of recap. The first day, Carrot is wound up. Stacy talks to him because she's pretty sure that's what normal dog owners do. She feeds him and makes him do tricks. That's when she hears a radio announcement. There's an escaped prisoner on the loose! Oh no! The mystery of the book is the escaped prisoner hiding in the Johanssens' house? I think the author got this idea from Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Stacy gets scared that she could be house-sitting for a prisoner, and at no point does she realize, wait, the house has a guard dog. It's unlikely a stranger is hiding here. Carrot chews up a bunch of papers and makes a mess, but he's so nice and friendly, Stacy loves him. At the BSC meeting, the girls decide to throw a holiday party for the kids in town. They can combine it with the sleigh ride that Kristy was talking about earlier.
I love it, said Claudia. Let's make it a definite plan. That was it. The whole thing was decided in about 10 seconds.
In the next chapter, Kristy tells the Arnold twins about the party. Kristy gets really mad at herself and her big mouth because she blabbed about the party. And this part confused me. What's wrong with telling the kids about the party? Everyone already agreed to do it. I mean, yeah, they don't have a solid date yet, but they never come up with a date, so I don't get it. Anyway, Kristy spends the rest of the book worrying that it won't snow on the day of the sleigh ride. Stacy goes into detail about her dog-sitting adventures, and for a moment I thought I was reading the Puppy Place auto book. Same author, disturbingly similar content. It becomes obvious that someone else is living in the house when Stacy discovers a glass in the sink. She sees the coffee maker was used, she finds papers in the trash, and someone moved Carrot's leash. Stacy tries to convince herself that the house is empty and she just forgot where she put things. It would be hilarious if that was the end of the book solution. There's no mystery, it's just Stacy is forgetful. There are several fake-outs. Carrot makes strange noises. What if the prisoner is here? Oh wait, the dog is just having a nightmare. Carrot isn't there when Stacy comes. What if the prisoner took him? Oh wait, he's just asleep. Carrot goes missing a second time. What if the prisoner... Oh wait, he's under a desk. On Monday, Stacy sees someone lurking outside the house. It's a red-headed meter reader. Stacy accidentally tells her that she's the house sitter. When Stacy takes Carrot for a walk, the dog insists on peeing on the meter reader's car. As a result, Stacy overhears the meter reader fight with her husband. She swears she's gonna move out and live somewhere. What if she's going to live in the Johanssens' house? So now we've got an escaped prisoner and a divorced meter reader living together in a stranger's house. This has all the makings of a weird romance novel. Someone takes the newspaper and the glass reappears in the sink. Later on, a vase will be destroyed and get replaced. Stacey makes a list of all the strange occurrences. She tells her friends about it. The babysitters agree it's weird, but it's too early in the book for them to investigate, so they decide to do nothing. In the subplot, the Coons give Marianne an educational lecture on Hanukkah traditions. Also, the Pike kids are working on a secret project in their basement, which could be a more interesting mystery than the book's main mystery. When Stacy looks for a towel to dry the dog off, she finds a hairbrush. It has red hair in it! Terrified, Stacy runs to get Claudia. Claudia agrees there is definitely a red-headed culprit in the house. It's either the escaped convict, the meter reader, or Mallory Pike. Just kidding about Mallory. She's not a red hair culprit. She's a red herring. There is an emergency BSC meeting. Stacy doesn't want to get the police involved because it'd be super embarrassing to call the police over a hairbrush. So Stacey would rather risk her life than be embarrassed by strangers. Okay. The BSC decides to have a sleepover at Jesse's so they can watch the Johanssens house. As it turns out, the Johanssens have a special answering machine. If you type in 143, it lets you hear everything that's happening inside their house. It's supposed to be a security feature, but it strikes me as a creepy spy feature that could easily be abused by weirdos. They listen to the house and they get worried when they hear strange sounds until Stacey realizes it's just the dog walking around. On the last day, Stacey finds a phone number written down. It's the number for the local train station. She goes to the train station when the Johanssens arrive, just in time to see the red-headed culprit. He goes to Dr. Johansson and hugs her? There was a red-headed man living in the house. He's Bill Grauman, a family friend. He thought it would be totally fine for him to stay in the Johanssens' house without their knowledge or consent. The book makes it seem like good friends normally do this all the time, but no, that's creepy and weird. Bill was never around at the same time as Stacey. He wrote a few notes to her, but she never got them because the dog chewed them up. Oops. The final chapter wraps things up. The prisoner is caught, the meter reader gets back with her husband, and the holiday party is a huge success. The kids surprise them with presents, and they all go for a sleigh ride. I counted there are 36 people on the sleigh ride. I feel sorry for the horses. The end. This was a slow book. Very little happens, and when I reread the book, I completely lost interest by the time I reached the chapter where Stacey finds a cup in the sink. I don't think finding a cup in the sink is interesting enough to deserve its own chapter. In fact, I thought the fake-out culprit encounters were more interesting than the real culprit encounters. It's like, oh my gosh, the coffee machine is warm. No, that wasn't interesting. It also took an extraordinarily long time for our heroes to do anything about the mystery. The BSE isn't convinced there's a real mystery until the 8th or 9th mysterious incident. In other books, they decide it's a mystery after 1 or 2 incidents. Having to wait for 10 mysterious incidents? It's too much waiting. The book had some filler, like recapping Stacey and the cheerleaders and Marianne breaks the rules. That didn't need to happen. I liked the scenes with Carrot, but overall there were too many of them and they were ultimately pointless. It didn't affect the storyline about the mysterious person in the house. Also, I was annoyed at how Stacey keeps talking about her fabulous new coat. She mentions it 5 times over the course of the book, and it irritated me. Stop worrying about the coat and start worrying about the potential criminal in your house. The ending was a letdown. I think I said that every time, that the culprit is an unknown person who was never mentioned earlier in the book. It's also a letdown that the mystery is nothing but a weird coincidence. Bill just happened to plan his 2-week trip the exact same time the Johanssens planned their 2-week trip. And neither of them talked to each other about it, just a total coincidence. Seriously, Bill is a jerk for showing up at the Johanssens unannounced and assuming they'd let him stay. Overall, it's not a good book. It's better than the last mystery, so I'll rate it 1 point higher. I give Babysitter's Club mystery number 18, Stacey and the Mystery at the Empty House, a 2 out of 10. Fun fact, I got the book's cover from Scholastic's website. The image name calls it The Mystery of the Empty House, not Mystery at the Empty House. So if anyone from Scholastic is watching this, you need to update the image names on your website. Also, you totally need to hire me to do Babysitter's Club audiobooks. Please?